Hey everyone, welcome to Studio Z. I'm Pete. Notice anything different about the wall behind me? Yep, that's right. I finally made a shop sign. And it's the first project that I ever did on my CNC router, and it's also my first sign ever. So let me show you how I made it. So let me start off by showing you how I made the sign board itself. The board is all made out of maple, and it's 3-inch wide slats. This is oversized still. I have to cut it once it's all glued up, but they're 24 inches long. It'll ultimately be 22 by 18, and there's no fancy joinery here. It's just glued edges together, and the reason for that is you can't use dominoes, or someone else might use a biscuit or something like that. You can't, because once that's in there and the machine goes to carve, it's probably going to hit that and expose it, and it's not going to look good. So you can't use any kind of dominoes or biscuits on these. It just has to be a straight edge glue up. And nothing fancy. I just have 2 pipe clamps on the bottom. You have to alternate your clamps, so I'm going to put the third clamp from the top. That will help keep the panel nice and straight. If I didn't and you only put them on the bottom, the board will curve, and that's not going to be good. So you have to alternate your clamps. All right, so I'm just going to speed through this part where the glue up, and then I'll show you it once it's all done. All right, so here is the board after the glue up. I took it out of the clamps. I scraped off all the glue from the seams, and it has been sized to its final dimensions of 22 by 18. And it's all ready to go into the machine. I just wanted you to see it, after it came out of the clamps. And I also wanted to just explain why quickly I used maple. So whenever you are machining a type of wood, there's different woods that machine differently. And maple is one of those woods that, as far as for routing is concerned with a router, it cuts very well. It's a hardwood and it cuts cleanly. And let's say you used a wood like pine or something soft like that, it wouldn't work out very well just because it's it's too soft, and when you cut it with the router, it comes out very furry, almost like it leaves strands or things of that nature, and you don't get clean, sharp edges. It comes out kind of rough. And also, when you're trying to stain it like I am, I intend to leave the surface of the board blonde like this, and all of the lettering and the tree, I want to do those recesses in black. And had I done this, let's say, on a softer wood like pine or in that nature, whenever you would go to put the black in, you would get bleeding from the black that would leach into the surface, and you wouldn't get clean lines around your letters and things like that. So not a good wood to use. However, maple, very dense, very tight grained, so it doesn't bleed much, and it's just a really good wood to use for this type of purpose. but I will get into that a little more in detail once I get to the finishing part, when I do the lettering, the staining, the painting, let's call it, and the sealing of it. So now let me just load it into the machine and we can get started. Okay, so before I start and load the CNC router, I wanted to go over which bits I'll be using today. And this bit is the first bit, and it's a 1/8 inch end mill. And that's going to be for creating the pockets in all of the letters, the flat bottom pockets. In the middle, I have a 90-degree V-bit. That will be for the tree area. It will do all of the profile of the outside edges of the tree. And then I have a 60-degree V-bit. That will be for the letters. It will do the edges of all the letters, right? So I just wanted to clarify which bits I'm using. Okay, so I've loaded the board in the machine, and I have set up a locating device which is called bit 0, and you place that on the corner of the board to the front of the machine. And what it does is it tells the machine where that corner is and the surface of the board in relation to the table. So basically the machine knows where the board is, and it can locate it and start the program based off of those coordinates, so that it knows where to start. So I'm just going to begin that process right now. Okay, and now that that's done, all I do is change the bit and we can start the process of cutting the part. Okay, so we're all ready to start. I'm just gonna hit the start button. Spindle's coming on. All right, so the board's out of the machine, and I have just gone over it with a 220 grit really quick just to smooth the surface. It's not really important at this time because once the painting part is done with the black and after the sealing, the whole surface has to be sanded down a bit just to take the board down a little to get more of these details a little finer, because they're a little bit, I went a little deeper in these grooves than they should be on purpose, just because once the black paint is done, I want to sand it down, and then that will be where it's supposed to be. So so I'll be sealing everything right now with a water-based urethane, and you know, inside of everything, the whole surface, in the tree, and the letters. And again, to do that is so that all of the pores, you know, on all of this end grain, everywhere in the letters and everything, you want to make sure that all of that is sealed, and the surface, so that once it's sealed and I put the black paint in, the black paint won't seep into the wood through capillary action. That the water-based urethane will stop that, so it can't do that, and you'll get nice clean edges around everything. Also, like I said, the hardness of the wood is also going to play a role in that. And that, being this is maple, it's very tight grained, so it's very minimal as to how much the black paint will soak in. So, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start applying the water base in all of the routed areas. And then again, I will coat the surface as well. So the coat of water-based sealer has dried, and I've gone ahead and lightly scuffed just inside of the tree and the letters with a maroon abrasive pad, just really lightly, just to kind of, if there was any roughness, to take it out. But I didn't want to do anything on the surface. I don't want to break the seal, if anything, you know, from the water-based sealer. So now I'm ready to go ahead and apply the black paint. And this paint, just so you know, when it goes on, it looks blue, and then when it dries, it becomes flat black. So in case you notice something funny, it's just the way the paint works. Okay, so we're done with the black paint and it's time to sand it off. And I'm over at my wide belt sander. So we're going to make a few light passes and then finish it with the orbital sander. I'm just going to try to get close and then again finish with the orbital on top of it. Okay, so now I'm back at the my other build table and I've got it clamped down and I'm going to go over it with some 220 on the orbital and finish off cleaning the details without going too deep and end up doing the whole panel as well so that it's ready for the final coat of water base finish. Okay, so this is the how the sign looks after the sanding, and I think it came out really good. It's really crisp. All of the lines are super clean, and I'm really pleased with the way that it came out off of the sander especially. So I'm all ready to apply the clear coats to it. I'm using, again, a extra matte water-based finish. And I'll probably put about 2 coats on this, maybe 3. I don't think it needs that much. And I'm going to put it on, the first coat I'm going to put on a little light just because I want to make sure I don't flood the tree and the letters. I don't want to get too much in there. We'll see how it works out. And I'm just using a microfiber roller, which I find is the best for applying water-based finishes. Really simple application. Nothing fancy about it. And being that it's extra matte, if it touches something in the letters, you'll never see it. It'll dry and it's invisible. It doesn't have a sheen, so it won't show up. I'm also getting the edges. I've already gone ahead and done the underside beforehand, so that's already sealed. With wood, you have to make sure that you seal whatever you do to the top side, you have to do to the bottom side. Otherwise, the wood will curl and it'll buckle. So once this dries, I will sand it with a 320 grit, and then I'll apply another coat, and it should be good to go. All right, here it is, all mounted up in its permanent new home. And that's going to conclude it for this video. But it has been a busy 2 weeks here in the shop, and I've got a lot of content that I've recorded. Coming up will be part 2 of the bed storage bench, the finishing of it. And I also have, after that, a really cool coffee table that I built. So look out for both of those videos. Be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out tremendously. And I'd also like to thank all of the people who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. Oh, also, if you have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave them in the comments. I try and read every comment that comes, and I try to answer it as well. So feel free. I look forward to reading those, and I'll see you on the next one.